Welcome to Worthington Home. I'm Chris. I've been dying to tell you about this interesting thing that happened. So my husband had the opportunity to go to a building that had been rented by an organization. I'm not going to say the name. The organization had rented this building for absolute decades and it was no longer in use. So after many years, they decided to discontinue the lease, clear it out, and just kind of let it go. So it had a garage full of boxes. And in those boxes were all kinds of like kitchenware and dining sets and all sorts of really interesting things that they had just planned to throw out. They were going to put it in the dumpster. And so somebody actually had the foresight to say to my husband, hey, if you want it, you can have it. We don't want it. We're throwing it out. So it's all yours. Well, he dug inside some of the boxes and he saw some interesting things. He took some pictures and sent them to me and said, what do you think? And we agreed, just take it all. So he loaded all of these boxes into his truck and brought them home. We stored them in the garage next door so we could start to process all this stuff. So I was so excited to take a peek. I looked inside the first box and my eyes just went wide. There were just lots of fun things in there. Oh my gosh, what a great treasure trove. So I kind of was thinking like, okay, what do we do with this? How do we get this stuff moving? So, you start from the beginning, right? You start to take one box at a time out of the garage, bring it into the house. And I didn't like to take more than one box at a time because these boxes had been stored for way too long. They were kind of smelly and damaged, and we'll just say there was a mouse poop situation. It wasn't glamorous. So one box at a time, maybe two, was about all I could sort of cope with in the house. So I could take everything out of the box, we could unwrap it, we could wash everything, and then once it was clean, put it on the dining room table to get a sense of like what goes together, what are parts of sets or whatever. So that became a very lengthy ordeal. Well worth it, but I don't think I've ever washed so many dishes in my life. So anyway, we started to just say, well, like, where did this stuff even come from? And nobody knows because nobody who works for that organization now was around when all of this stuff was collected. So my best guess is that maybe they were going to do like a fundraising tag sale. Maybe they were gonna, have an auction, or maybe they were gonna open up a thrift store. They were thinking about it. I don't know, but boy, are we happy to have all of this stuff. So I'm gonna show you what we found, and I'd love to know what you think. Check it out. Okay, I'm taking you with me for my very first look at the boxes that Eric picked up. And there are so many of them. I can't even believe it. All this stuff in the back is from the last clean out, so that wasn't part of the recent haul. But all of the boxes in front are, and they are full of interesting things. I already see some corral dishes here. And what is this? Salt craft. I can see some really pretty looking, I think this is some china. Oh, that's a gorgeous pattern. There's a lot to figure out here. I've been washing dishes for the last hour and a half, and it is not the most fun job, but very important. Here's a group I already did, and once they're clean, they'll join the others on the dining room table. This is just a tiny portion of all of the stuff I have managed to clean and process that we had temporarily stored in the garage. It's incredible. All of these boxes are full of this pattern, which is so pretty. It's Johan Haviland. A viewer told me I was mispronouncing it, which I appreciate. It is such a pretty pattern. There's lots and lots of serving pieces, and there's probably more in the garage. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just taking things out little at a time so I don't get too overwhelmed
And that way I can just kind of wash things and put them out here so I can see what's what. This is a great picture. I love the cubist print on it. And here's another one that's just kind of a swirled amber glass. Really nice. This little bowl is Italian. I love the pink rim on it. And this set is really simple but elegant. The pretty details on that. This is, where is it? Wakefield. And this is a very similar design, but it's actually not the same. This one is Southwick. And what's nice about this one is it's dishwasher safe, which seems hard to believe because it's porcelain and it has this silvery rim. I would personally be afraid to put that in the dishwasher myself, but I don't know. And then this is some of the other pretty china with the rose pattern that has never even been taken out of the box. So I didn't either, but you can see there's tea saucers and teacups. There's fruit dishes. There's some plates. I opened up this one because I wanted to just make sure that the pattern was what I thought it was. And it is. And I even have the certificate of registration that goes with it, and one of the original boxes, which is this one. Pretty cool stuff. Okay, take a look at all of this, and there are still 5 boxes in the garage that we haven't processed yet because I need a little break. We have such a wide variety of things in here. We have these pretty little floral dishes. Here's the back. And there may be a lot more pieces to this because I don't know what else is in the garage. We have these fantastic rocks glasses or old-fashioned glasses that are still in the box, and I washed them. We have this great old covered platter. I forget what this is. Let's check. Oh, this is glass bake. And it looks like it's quite old. I think it might even be from like the 20s. Very interesting piece. We have this cobalt blue pitcher. I don't know. I wonder if this is like a souvenir piece, because I can tell you that this is from Mount Vernon. Very pretty little platter. We have tons and tons and tons of this pattern of china, and it is so pretty. On top of that, we have lots of crazy daisy Corningware, but what's interesting is that some of it is Pyrex. So you see this is Pyrex, but this is Corningware. And this is super, super duper light, and this is very heavy and substantial. So quite interesting. Over here, this is a great bowl with the underplate. And this is Homer Laughlin china. Here's the gravy boat that goes to the Johann Haviland set. This is a decorative plate that's made in Japan. Over here, we scoot over. We have this green divided tray. And this is a big Corningware tray, which is really a nice piece. Here we have a Pyrex bowl in this sort of pinky red color. Very nice piece. Underneath here, we move these bowls. This is a great, very 60s/70s piece. This is Homer Laughlin. Oh, 1971. Made in the USA. So that is pretty groovy. We have this little silver with the silver, this pretty crystal or glass plate with the silver inlay. And this glass divided tray with the gold details. What else can I show you? We have lots of this set, this white set. These are some glass dishes shaped like grapes. And this pretty like bubble patterned bowl. This is a really nice platter. It was almost black when I pulled it out of the box. Rose china. We have a variety of little casserole bowls, but I don't have the lids. And this is some pressed glass. I'm just gonna put this, another little bubble pattern. This is really cool. This is Fire King. Great little design. We have 2 Christmas mugs. Really pretty. That's the bottom. This is a great little mixing bowl set. There's 4 of these bowls, and they're in really good shape. And then we have some glasses. We have some Libby Crown Collection glasses. Let me show you these. They're pretty cool. They have numbers on them with like gold embossing. So obviously that's number 6. They each have a different number on them. Here's the number 3. I don't know, is that supposed to keep track of how many drinks you've had? Or do you assign all of your guests to a specific number so they know which glass is theirs? I don't know. That's the Crown Collection. Here we have, I guess this is for, this divided dish would be for chips and dip or vegetables and fruit and some kind of a dip. Very pretty. And what else? Oh, and then here, I showed you these glasses already. Yeah. So this is what we have so far. And like I said, there are 5 more boxes still in the garage. I just can't wash anymore because I am really tired. Oh, and I didn't show you this little collection of glasses that are nothing super special, but certainly usable for somebody who's in the market for such. So I'm going to take a little break because I'm really tired, and then I am going to start to box up some of this stuff, bring it upstairs to my laundry room so that I can get ready to photograph it, and then I will list. So that's the process, and it takes some time, but I can't even begin to imagine that all of this great stuff was destined for a dumpster, and I am so glad it didn't land there because I know there are pieces here that people will be really glad to have and can use, and they can live on just as they're supposed to do. So I'm pretty pleased about that.
So while I was in the process of doing endless dishwashing, my husband had the opportunity to go look at another clean out. There was a gentleman who got in touch with him. He'd gotten his name. We don't really advertise. We just sort of word of mouth referral. And he contacted my husband, and Eric asked me if I wanted to go with him. And I'm like, oh my gosh, no, I have to like get my brain around all this stuff. So I stayed home. I continued to wash dishes and do other things. And Eric went to the clean out. And he really enjoyed that time because the gentleman who called him was really nice. They hit it off. They actually figured out that they knew each other from a previous life. Anyway, it was really positive. And the outcome was that Eric said this family wasn't really ready for a clean out yet. They were still really in the process of figuring out who wants what. There were direct descendants. There were sentimental attachments to things, which is so super common and typical. So everybody needed to take what they wanted, and then the family wanted to have a tax sale or an estate sale or something. They wanted to do that themselves. They were going to do that. And then once they'd gone through all the things, everybody took what they wanted. They sold what could be sold. At that point, they would be ready for a clean out, meaning at that point, everything would be destined for the dumpster. So I think he will call Eric back to do that work. And Eric, as I said before on this channel, if you watch, he loves to do that work. I think he loves the organizational challenge that it presents. So I think we will get called back in a few weeks, months, whatever, and we'll finish up that job, and I'll help to the extent that I can, and it will be a good outcome. But until then, the gentleman gave Eric the opportunity to make an offer on some things. And so he found something really interesting, and I'm going to show that to you now.
To a client today to give a price to do a clean out, and they weren't really ready yet. Still had to sell some odd stuff, some inexpensive stuff. So I told him when he's ready, give me a call. However, I saw this scale, thought it was pretty cool, and offered him $100. He said fine, so we brought it home, cleaned it up, and we're gonna open up the drawer and see what kind of goodies are in the drawer. It seems like there's just little trinkets that go with the scale. Little, whatever this is. These glass things, I'm assuming, maybe go on the scale to hold items. There's a few of those. See what's in this box here. These are like glass things that will also go on the scale. Let's see.
And this would have been to measure medications, right, back in the day?
I believe so. Another thing to the scale.
Mm-hmm.
These are weights that go to the scale. Let's see what this is. Ooh, these are fountain pen nibs. Usually they are 14 karat gold.
Nice.
Let's see if they are. Yes, they are.
How can you tell?
They say 14K on them.
Oh, well, that will do it.
Let me see if I can find one that's really bright here.
How many seem to be there?
2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, probably 12.
Nice. Let's see that. Can we see the cover? The blue cover.
That's
that you
the
have,
brand.
so we know what your Waterman's. You never know what you're going to find.
No, let me see if I can find one that's 14K. I'm going to bring it over here.
Okay. So this is one of the ones that's marked 14K. It's really hard to see, but it is there. And some of them are marked and some of them aren't, but even the ones that aren't marked probably are. So this was a really interesting find and very unexpected. You just never know what kinds of things are going to pop up. Here's the inside of the box. Let me see if I can show that to you a little bit. Waterman's Ideal Fountain Pen. And again, this is like a little collection of gold nibs. I keep wanting to call them nubs. I don't know why, but they are nibs. So yeah, there's our little interesting find of the day. Okay, so here's all 12 of them laid out so you can see them. And honey, what do you think the value is going to be here?
On all 12,
Yeah.
little over 200. I've seen 5 of this brand, 14K, go for about a 152.
Okay.
In scrap cost,
Just scrap gold.
scrap gold, based on spot price, which is, you never get spot. Probably 160, and if you subtract the percentage that you would get off a spot, I would say about $100 and 90 to, yeah, about $90 to $100 in actual scrap gold.
So what are you personally expecting to get from this?
I'm going to sell them probably as actual fountain pen nibs versus scrapping.
Yep. Waterman's, will you use the label?
Yep, yeah, because they are that.
Yep.
A little over $200.
Nice. So that actually pays for the scale and then $100 beyond that.
Correct.
So that you can buy me a really good present.
Yes.
Cool. That's worth a shot, right?
Eric told me that there was also some interesting mid-century modern furniture that might be interesting to make an offer on if the family doesn't want it. And it seemed like the family didn't want it. And that, of course, poses an ongoing challenge that we're facing these days, which is, what do you do with big things that are interesting and old, but we can't ship? And I had been thinking about getting a store space, renting a space, or getting some shelving. It turns out, I mean, I'm still researching it, of course, but it looks like that might be prohibitively expensive. I don't want to put a lot of cost into renting and giving a percentage of commissions. I'm not sure that that's the way forward. My father-in-law has a store, but it's packed with stuff, and he's had that store forever, so he's really not at a point where he's going to want to make changes to the store, and who can blame him? So that doesn't really work. So we're now starting to look into other options, like maybe doing an Auction Ninja estate sale or auction where people would actually come pick up the bigger things that they wanted, and we could maybe ship the smaller things. We're not sure, but we do want to dig deeper. We want to get more involved in the sales part of things because we do love it, and you can't keep everything. So if you can't keep everything, it's at least interesting to have it in your possession for a while and to play a part in putting those things into the right hands. So that's to be continued. We have some thoughts and plans and things we're going to try, and of course I'll take you along for that journey if you're interested in learning more.
This is day 2 of cleaning and arranging our finds. So another whole table full, and I'll show you some of the highlights we have in this rather dirty box. We have Tiffinware. These are rocks glasses, or old-fashioned glasses with silver rims and really nice shape. So great find. We have some little jadeite plates, which are so pretty. I wish there were more of this same color and pattern, but this is all there was. This is Fire King. We have some Corningware, Corel, just kind of plain white colors, and this doesn't belong there, and this is also just some Corel. Over here we have some clear glass pieces. They're actually 4 of these little sherbet glasses, but one of them was already put away yesterday. More rocks glasses. I have so many rocks glasses right now, mostly from the 1960s. They're excellent. So if you're in the market, be sure to check my eBay store. Here we have some amber glass and some great patterns and lots of mugs. This is a pretty one with the pink colors. Oops. Bella Casa by Gans or Gons. Very nice. I like this amber glass with the pattern on it. Unfortunately, there's just the one. This is a really pretty floral mug made in England. There are 2 of these. I was very excited to find this one. This celebrates Queen Elizabeth and her Silver Jubilee, which was 1977. I collect this sort of thing, so this will stay with me. But I was very glad to find it. These are really nice. 2 pressed glass candlesticks. This great pattern. I might keep these as well, we'll see. Oops. A really interesting shaped bowl in the 1960s, I would imagine. And back over to the mugs. Just a variety of different things. Not a lot of matching pieces. I think we got most of the really good stuff out yesterday, but there are still some nice things here. Just 4 kind of water glasses. and some various creamers and sugars, but no lids on the sugars. I like these a lot. These are 2 Mikasa bowls. This one's bigger. I don't know if you're seeing that on camera. This one's a little bigger, a little smaller. This grapefruit pattern. Very 60s, 70s with the harvest gold and avocado green. Here's the back. It's called Golden Valley. Over here we have some false craft. Just the 1 mug. I had originally thought there were more, and I thought there might be some dinner plates to go with this, but no such luck. We have this cookie kit. Here's the box so you can see it a little bit better. We have a Slap and Chop. It's a really weird name. It cleans easily, so that's nice to know. We have this little stovetop, I don't know if you call this a stovetop percolator. Not really sure. It has a little bit of damage to the handle, but I am looking forward to actually using this myself. I'm not quite sure how it works, but I'm confident I can figure it out. Oops. Here's the bottom. Ah, here. I think we can see it that way. That's the bottom. Here is a really interesting piece. You can see it's used for measuring here. So this cornflower blue pattern is pretty common, but I haven't seen this particular piece very often, so kind of interesting. I have quite a bit of that myself. I'm slightly obsessed with these glasses. Aren't they fantastic? The purple and the pink and the argyle pattern, like socks. They're nice. There's quite a few. They're mostly water glasses. There are a couple of smaller ones. Let's see, there's 4 smaller ones in the set, but really nice. I haven't seen these before. There's some super cute salt and pepper shakers. One of the shakers was chipped, but the others are in nice condition. I don't think, oh, here we go. Creative. Made in Japan. So those are cute. I also really like these glasses with the flower pattern on them. Really, really pretty. I haven't done any research on these yet, so I don't quite know what I have. I just know that they're very fun to look at. Unfortunately, we only have 2 of these aqua glasses. I wish we had the whole set because they're such a great color. They have this nice kind of pattern to them. And some more glasses. I don't know if these are considered to be low ball glasses. Not sure. I have to do some research. So anyway, yeah, here is day 2 of what has been a really large haul. I have a few stragglers to show you. Here is an Avon pitcher in the Cape Cod collection pattern. It's very heavy. I actually washed it and then put it back in the original box because it was super dirty. But there are apparently collectors for this, so hopefully it will get a good home. You can see the Avon stamp there in the bottom. And it's a really nice pattern in a ruby red kind of color. And these pieces go with it. They look like candlesticks, but they actually held cologne or perfume. I emptied them out. You can see Candlestick Charisma Cologne. Boy, did it smell like a lot. It went down the sink and it stayed in my nostrils for a few hours. Here's an old thermos container. This would have gone in a lunch box and would have held probably soup. And it's in really nice, usable condition, actually. This thing cleaned up perfectly. And this is interesting. I didn't know what this piece was at first. It says Corningware on it, and I was almost wondering if it like opened a can or something. But then I found one in the original box, and you can see it's a detachable handle. And this would have been used for saucepans, skillets, and sauce makers. It looks like it just hooks right onto the pan, which is a great idea and very space saving. I also found this wooden bowl. It's not in good shape, but has some nice engraving on it. I bet it was pretty back in the day, but not really so much anymore.
In case you're wondering where we're storing all of this stuff we've amassed while we figure out what the heck to do with it, here's some video that shows you the various places these things are living right now.
It seems like these days bins and tissue paper are my friend. So I have part of the collection of white china in this bin wrapped up so it doesn't get broken. And I have lots of bits and pieces in this blue bin, a lot of china and other breakables. I also have some of that pretty rose pattern set in that big box and more of the white china in this crate. And I have more things in these two fabric covered boxes that I usually use for attic storage. But they're wrapped up and tucked away nice and safe. You can see I've got glasses in their original boxes where they will stay. That's just a great place for them, and collectors often like original boxes. And inside this bin, there is even more. As you can see, a lot of things just haven't been put away yet at all. They're still on the dining room table, and I just need to get my brains around where I'm putting these last things. I've gotten my hands on a few more bins and cardboard boxes so I can gather everything and put it away until we're ready to do something with it. It's just important that I can find everything again when I'm ready to do some listing or process them in some other way, depending on what I decide to do.
Okay, at this point, I think it's time for a cat break. So for those of you who are fans of Indy and Iris and their shenanigans, here's a very short clip for you. Yeah, Indy. Want to say hi? Indy. Hi, sweetheart. Pretty girl. I wanted to mention that a few viewers have reached out to say to me that they think I resemble Amy Poehler, which is very funny. I've heard that before. And what I would say to all of you is, if any of you know Amy Poehler or how to reach her, please let her know that her long lost sister would love it if she would visit her eBay store, because I could use the sales. So that's what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this very unusual haul that I have to share with you. Sometimes, sometimes these things happen for us. My husband has been in the business on a part-time basis, the antiques business, for many, many years. His father has been, his father before him was, it's just, and he's lived in the same area for a long time, so a lot of people know him. And it doesn't happen every day, but sometimes it happens that we have an opportunity to grab some stuff. And I want to say, in fairness to us, we're willing to put in the work. It's a lot of work, and it's gross. It's gross. Don't think it's not. It is. And then, sort of process it and figure out how to deal with it and where do you sell it and what do you do with it and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was so much fun. I was so excited to share it with you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit like and subscribe, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.